your painting is not just a decoration in the wall. It speaks about you as a person and how you reflect the environment and the Philippines that we are living with. My philosophy was I would have to transcend the usual ambience of a hospital. Drab colors, green, mga ganyan ba? With hardly anything on the walls. That's very depressing. So when we were building the St. Luke's Global City, I was the chief medical officer there. So I told the board, sabi ko, I want to enhance the ambiance of the hospital. I want to have paintings on the walls. Sabi ko, oh, yeah, you can do it, pero we don't have money. We already spent 9 billion for the buildings. So sabi ko, okay, fine, okay. Just give me money for me to give dinners to my friends. So I gave them a good dinner. And then I spoke about the importance of art in the healing process. And then I said, I want you to go ahead and select any wall that you want and bring out your best works that should have a healing effect on people who would come here. Wala naman yung depression, baka lalong ma-depress yung mga tao. So, something that will be calming, something that you will relate to, and become good with. So I said, okay, but sabi ko, but we no longer have any money. So sabi ko, but, okay, you give me the price of your artwork and I will give you the equivalent of a medical insurance. Everyone participated. So you see this big collection of Ben Cubs. I purposely selected in the medical arts building. I said, okay, Ben, that's your wall. And then I said, okay, John Santos, you be the one who will do the forefront. Sabi niya, why, Manong? Sabi niya, I'm just a small painter. Sabi niya, no, I like your style. This is year 2000. You are. This technique is bagay itong century na ito. But I want you to do the history of medicine in your own style. So the title of that work is The Lifeline. It was meant to help people heal. That's the role of those particular paintings. It's my philosophy that art and nature heal. That's part of the game. In 1986, I was dean of the College of Medicine at that time. And so I was not staying here in Antipolo. Antipolo was my refuge. That's the reason why I used to call it El Refugio. Because it was, I was very busy taking care of patients. I was teaching, and I used to work like 14 hours a day. Very happy doing that because that was my bag. I liked very much to be able to teach. It goes back to my childhood that I love to teach. So finally I found myself to become dean of the medical school. Then the revolution came. At that point, I said, okay, a lot of people were leaving. Kasi takot sila. Takot sila nung namatay si Ninoy. Baka mag-revolution. I said, after all my travels, I said, look, it's the Philippines is for me. This is my country. This is where I will be able to work best. And I know my Filipino people. And I know that they needed my expertise in neurology. Because at that time, halos walang neurologist sa Philippines. So I started preaching. So the revolution came, and After that, we in Antipolo, the professionals here, we gathered. Among them was Pepe Abueva. Yeah, and many others, learned people in Antipolo, which are just everywhere here in Antipolo. They love to be here, no, away from work. And we gathered, I was invited, and I said, okay, what is our vision about Antipolo? No? This was handled by Maring Llamado, who practically owns the Aristocrat restaurant. No? She was there, and she was the one who came out with this brainstorming session. After a few nights, brainstorming, we said, okay, we want Antipolo to become a center for art, culture, and ecology. That was the start. No? So, first we started to come out with, it was, kasama ko si Tita Radaich, the ballet dancer. We had ballet in front of the Hinulugang Taktak. Yeah. The reason being that the environmental degradation was there already. And we knew that the Hinulugang Taktak, which was pristine at that particular time, no? There were, carcasses of dead pigs coming down the waterfalls. So I said, no, that cannot happen. We should revive that. So we wanted to get Hinulugang Taktak to be the centerpiece of our ecological campaign. We had a summer program where we had Giselle, where we had Ramon Ubusan. We invited people to come over. And so Antipolo started to become an area where people would come as a sort of art and culture. At that time, we were able to attract these young students from UP. And they came. The guy who was leading them is Rolly Acuña, who studied art in UP. He brought his friends. And then I learned they were artists, no? So I said, okay, well, why don't you come to my house on weekends, no? And start drawing. And then they started to gather here every Sunday. And then I got introduced to these people, Tony Leaño, Manny Garibay, Mark Custiniani, Karen Flores. Borlongan is the everyday man. Later on, we had John Santos, no? Jim Orencio, Erwin Leaño. So, people were converging here. No? So, every Sunday, when they would come, I would join them for, pinapakain ko sila. And they practically lived here in my place, in Antipolo. Then, during the time that they were sketching, I overheard them tell me that, okay, they tried to break into the galleries. At that time, they were refused. Now, I analyzed it because they were not bankable. No? Sabi ko, kawawa naman itong mga batang ito. So I said, okay, guys, after 4 weeks na nag-drawing sila, no? I said, okay, spread out all your drawings in the floor in the house. And I said, how do you want to go ahead and have a show? And that was the start of the Sampayan thing. So sabi ko, isabit ninyo yung mga nyo, kasi wala namang gallery dito. Sinabit nila mga artworks nila. Sina Garibay, sina Tony Leaño, sina, the people who have names now, nandun lahat sila. I invited my friends, doctors, to come over. No? That was time that they started to sell their paintings. The highest pointer at that time for the mere 7,000 pesos during that time was Mark Custiniani. Mark Custiniani, to all of them, I consider him, he's a poet, he's a philosopher. On canvas, I loved his works because from the very beginning, he was depicting the downfall of kings. Yung mga ganyan. The essence of time. Philosopher talaga siya. I like the work of Garibay because he was punching the Catholic Church, the government. He's the polymath. He's so good at everything that he does. From drawings, to paintings, to architecture, to gardening. That's why he's not very well known. But Tony, wala siyang pakialam. He just does what he thinks would be an advance in the way he becomes a person of art. Elmer Rolongan was not selling. I was the only one who bought. Naawa ko. No? Kasi sabi ng mga collectors, naku, ayoko nga yan. Why will I put it on my wall? Puro kalbo. But if you take a look at the artworks of Rolongan, it says something. It's very Filipino. The most sensitive part na work with the Rolongan, which is in the collection. He depicted a boy, Kumot. He depicted a boy sitting on a road where he uses his shirt as a blanket. But if you take a look at the face of that particular boy, he has not really submitted to that fate. John Santos, no, he was experimenting a lot. No, he started first his best pieces that were sold, which are now very much coveted in the market. No, other ones which were done with all this with surreal things. No, ganyan. But he changes. Now he's into towers. No, you will see his tower. This is the tallest. And I said, okay, Joan, I want you to have a piece for Pinto. The story ni Jim is very interesting. No, si Jim, when I saw him, no, I saw his painting, and I said, ang bilis mag-painting, but he tends to go back to it. Uncertain siya. So I said, Jim, lika. Okay, I'm gonna sit down here and do a portrait of me, but I want it 15 minutes flat. No change in your stroke. Okay? Sabi ko, Jim, you paint like Monet. You are the Monet. The first run of the Sampayan art was icons. No? People were buying the art kasi cheap. Cheap, no? 1,000, ganyan. Eh yun nga, ang daming trabaho ni Mark 7,000, tuwan-tuwa na kami. So I said, okay, my friends who you invited to come over here, masyadong malayo dyan sa Antipolo. So why don't you go ahead and have a place in Manila? No, as a doctor, I had a flat, a pied-à-terre in Cubao, Boston, on Boston Street, 72 Boston Street. And I said, okay, let's go ahead and come up with a gallery. So it was called Boston Gallery. It was one of the preferred galleries for them to show because I did not censor them. Do whatever you want to do. Bahala kayo. Kung ano. So, kung minsan nagiging parmasya yung lugar na yun, so they were putting trees and they were saying, whatever. Or minsan they were campaigning against waste. And then, they had like, yung mga black bags na pinuno nila ng basura. Pagkatapos yun na, ang art. So, anyway. So I kept on buying. And then until that time, that after Boston, ang dami ko nang nabili. They were all in my bedroom. And I couldn't breathe na in my bedroom kasi ang dami-dami na. No? So, one day, si Tony Leanio said, okay, Doc, you have too much of these artworks already. What will we do? So sabi ko, okay, then, dapat may museum. okay, let's come up with a Greek-looking architecture of this place. And I said, okay, because, why? I said, that's where the original seat of knowledge was. This is where the Renaissance started. So we want to come out with that. And then that thinking started on January 1st, 2000, the first day of this millennium. It was Gemo Tapales who said, okay, what will we name the gallery? Sabi niya, Pinto. Sabi niya, bakit Pinto? Sabi niya, because it's the end. We are entering a new century. So it's Pinto. No? We started first with 1, 2, 3 galleries. No? Because that's all the land that we had. Because I kept on buying land after my house. No? The challenge was, siyempre, finances to start with, building it. No? So, all my money from my earnings as a doctor were put into it. It grew slowly. It was not something planned, like a business thing, no? It was, okay, eto muna. And so we, Tony Leanio, who designed this, he's a polymath. He designed the first gallery. And we said, okay, the first gallery must house the premier painting that you did, the Carnival of the Salingpusa. I found out they named themselves Salingpusa. We particularly did Gallery 1 specifically for that particular role. So that's why it's prime place. Pagpasok mo sa Gallery 1, nandun na kaagad yung Carnival. And it was funny the way it was done. Karen was able to get a grant of 10,000 pesos from the CCP. No? So they said, okay, saan namin gagawin to? Sabi niya, sige, dito kayo sa bahay. Papakainin ko kayo. Gumawa sila dyan. It was an interaction of talent. If you see the painting now, you don't know it was made by 15 people. Remember during my time, do not become an artist. You will be impoverished all your life. There's no money there. Ngayon, parents are saying, yung anak ko artist, can you show him there? That's why I had to create an artists committee. Artist committee headed by Carlo, no? Carlo Mar. Kasi ang daming nag-a-apply. Mga kamag-anak ko, mga kaibigan nito, ganyan-ganyan. Ang dami eh. I receive project proposals every so often. So I said, no, I need somebody to filter this. Yung artists committee namin, we accept project proposals. So bring your project proposal and they will go through an artistic committee. In 2 days, we had like more than 100 proposals. Second year, 350 proposals. Those young artists, no matter how good they are, the market is not buying. Sino yan? Ganon sila. Sino yan? Magaling ito. Sikat. So I give them back to the story. You know what happened to Elmer? Sabi ko, now every particular person wants an Elmer Borlongan. You know what I tell them? Okay? You create your own style. You discover your own style. First is that you have got to be passionate in pursuing it. Don't think of the money. Because a lot of the people now are thinking about pera muna, how they sell. Sabi ko, no. Gumawa ka lang ng gumawa. Someone will be able to appreciate your work. Gumawa muna kayo ng trabaho nyo the way you want it, no? And not because you are imitating an artwork that will sell in the auction. The beautiful part of that is their first works have the soul, a lot of soul, because there was passion in it. No? Talagang wala. There was no consideration of making money. It was just an expression of what they want to do. even if it's not beautiful to the eye of somebody who wants to put in a picture on a wall, no, I told them, okay, no, your painting is not just a decoration in the wall. It speaks about you as a person and how you reflect the environment and the Philippines that we are living with.